And that train is departing the Purple Line platforms here at Tottenham Court Road. Yes, back out on the Elizabeth Line. Hello, because MTR, a few weeks ago, to a time when, before Bond Street Station opened actually, invited me out for a day to go for a ride through the core section, i.e. on a train, in a Class 345, in a cab, and at the same time speak to one of their experienced drivers. In fact, I spoke to one of their driver team managers. So this was the 20 minutes or so that I spoke to Keith Valla in the cab of his train to chat about what it's like to drive on the Elizabeth Line. Keith, hello.
Hello.
We're leaving which station?
Whitechapel.
And I know the obvious question I want to ask straight away is that it's very much hands-free. Show us your hands, Keith.
Hands-free.
Is the train driving itself?
It is.
How is it doing that?
The joys of CBTC signalling.
Now tell us what CBTC stands for those that don't know.
Computer-based train control.
And is it the whole of the Abbey Wood to Paddington section where that takes place?
And out to Westbourne Park as well.
Oh,
yes.
Which we're doing. Okay, all right. Okay, so the whole of the core section was built with this CBTC,
yep.
Right?
So it includes the turn back at Westbourne Park and the sidings at Plumstead.
So what do you actually do in terms of train operation? Do you check the CCTV and then you just do the doors?
CCTV, doors, and we are checking speed, control, distance of events, and we are checking things as well. But basically the train is driving it itself.
Are there still sections where you have to drive manually, or is the
not in the core section though?
The core section is
we can drive it manually, but we don't drive it manually, if that makes sense. So, as you said, on the underground they do drive certain sections manually, maybe on a Sunday or whatever. We don't do that here because of the intensity of the service.
There's three types of signalling system on this railway. So out east, out to Shenfield, you have what?
TPWS AWS.
Which stands for?
Automatic warning system. So it's the old generic British Rail system.
And out west and down to not Heathrow, you have
AWS, TPWS still.
And then on the Heathrow branch, you have
ETCS.
Okay, and then in the core we have
CBTC.
That's quite complicated, isn't it?
It is.
So do you have to learn, how to cope with
all
the
three?
Okay, and what does it actually entail? What are some of the differences?
So if we're on AWS, TPWS, we're driving the train fully manually, power brake controller, fixed signals, colour light signals. As you can see at the front, there's no signals in the core either. There's no colour light signals at all. ETCS,
go on.
We do have colour light signals, but we do follow a display screen, which is similar to this, but has a graph with an event marker on it, etc. So it's similar, but not quite the same.
Okay. So when a driver drives for the Elizabeth Line, they have route knowledge across all sections.
Correct.
Out to Reading, out to Shenfield, down to Abbey Wood.
That's it.
Okay. I'll just let you pull it out.
So, for example, if you're going to depart Shenfield and you're going to go to Heathrow, eventually, you'll depart on AWS, TPWS with fixed colour light signals, and we go along. Then to Stratford, we go CBTC.
Now, where the changeover happens from one signalling section
in the platform at Stratford.
Okay, so
that's your first question.
But is there a button you have to press in the cab, or does it have
literally signalling acknowledge.
So what, you come into like the new section?
It'll offer me up CBTC, yes, acknowledge it. That's all it is.
Okay, so out on the manual sections, you are with your hand on the handle.
Yep.
Okay. Doing what kind of speeds out to Shenfield?
So out to Shenfield, the maximum speed is 70.
Okay.
Out to Reading, the maximum speed is 90.
The train here in the core section at the moment is going how fast?
So at the moment we're doing 45, but the maximum speed in the core is 62.
Okay. Is it unnerving having this train drive itself? How long have you been driving trains generally in your career?
I've been on the railway 37 years nearly, and most of that's as a driver.
Go on, what did you start on? What was your start?
302s, 305s, 307s, 308s, 309s.
Presumably the first time you went on a 345, that was a simulator. You yourself had to learn to drive a simulator.
No, the first time.
Did they let you live on a train?
They did, yeah.
So the first time you drive a train that drives itself, what is that weird for the brain?
It was very weird for someone like me, but you get used to it, don't you?
It's just, it's just like, what if it fails? What if?
Well, then your training comes in and you take over and drive it manually.
So there could be a scenario where where the CBTC fails, and you then take manual control.
Correct.
Okay, all right. Has that happened yet?
To me personally,
yeah.
Yes, I've had to do manual driving in here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that fun?
Yeah, it's different.
Many years ago, I went on a simulator. I think I was out at Romford somewhere. Are the 345 simulators still a thing?
We had them at Ilford, but they're now at Old Oak Common.
Okay, all right. So Old Oak Common is the big depot.
It's the big depot now, yeah.
Okay.
So I've got a team of drivers that I manage. So health, welfare, their assessments, their competence, new drivers I pass out. I arrange medicals. Yeah, we do the lot basically, and we can drive trains as well.
There was about a year, wasn't there, where the Elizabeth line was working, but it was being tested. What was your involvement?
So shadow running.
Yeah, the shadow running thing, which is still happening on Sundays, right? At the moment.
Correct.
At the time of filming.
Yeah.
What did you do during the shadow running phase?
Shadow running, I was doing my normal job and down in here as well when we was doing testing scenarios. So everything that was going on in here, no one knew about up above, but we were working a full service in here, which was quite novel really. Empty trains, empty stations.
So you got to a point where you're running a full railway, but just nobody's getting on and no one's getting off. Up and down, up and down, up and down.
Correct. Yeah.
But presumably, that time it did enable you to sort of iron out any little kinks and bugs. And
any issues you could find bugs there. That's what we did when we was doing that.
So by the time they launched in May, it was all pretty much.
You were there?
I was there.
Did it run okay?
Apart from the fire alarm at Paddington.
Yeah, that was it. And I think the reliability we've got now is second to none. It's pretty good. It's very few days we have any issues in here.
Now, when I'm in the core section, I notice that, like, sometimes at TCR or whatever, sometimes the train pulls in and then it just sits there for like 30, 40 seconds. Why are they doing that at the moment?
We try and keep this fixed interval time between each train, so 5-minute service. So if the train is slightly delayed in front, it just holds us back a few seconds. If we're running slightly late because there's people getting on and it's very busy, then it'll reduce the dwell time.
We're filming this before Bond Street opening. That will obviously add. At the moment, trains are slowing down to what speed for Bond Street?
We're doing about sort of 30, 40 through Bond Street at the moment.
Hang on, where are we now? I'm looking out the window.
TCR, next one is Bond Street.
We're about to slow down for Bond Street. So that will add a minute or two time.
There we go. We're going to be sitting here now for 59 seconds.
It's actually saying that on your screen.
Tells me there 59 seconds, and I can see how long I've been stopped for.
So when will that padding go? When will that time get removed?
Monday.
And then it will just be like in, boom, out. Okay. And that's all because of Bond Street?
Bond Street, yeah.
Are you looking forward to November the 6th, which is proper through running?
Correct.
And then presumably a shift. Like where are the booking on points for drivers?
So we've got booking on points on the east at Shenfield, Gideon Park and Ilford. We've got Plumstead and Abbeywood in the south, and we've got Old Oak Common and Maidenhead in the west.
Are there any driver changeover points halfway through? So like would you pull a train into Paddington and then someone relieves you?
There are a couple of diagrams now and then that will change over at Paddington, but there's not many. Most of them are through.
So you pick up, you drive it all day. So you might start at Shenfield, go to Paddington, come back to Abbeywood.
Yeah.
Go
in theory.
Go out to Reading.
Yeah.
Come back to Abbeywood, out to Heathrow.
In theory, yeah.
Okay. All right. That's pretty exciting. All right. So we're coming into Paddington. Keith, what happens at Paddington?
So this train is going to stop, terminate, and we have to clear the train. So we can go into a mode on this lovely train, what we call train clear mode, and the door open buttons on the exterior, which we use outside on the open sections, become door close buttons. And the station staff here just have to press one door close button, and all the doors on that carriage close.
And then just crashing your shock you. And then for the first time, I get to go beyond Paddington.
You do.
Into the Westbourne
You do. You go to that dark,
that's exciting.
dark siding down there. Away we go.
I'm very excited. But the exciting thing is that this is what I've heard. The train literally then drives itself and reverses while you walk down the train. Is that
not at the moment, but it will do.
That's what I heard. You see.
So we've now got into train clear mode. And these are all our doors that are open, look. And you'll watch as the staff start getting in. These will go blue as they close each carriage up.
Have we had anybody inadvertently stay on yet?
We manage it very well, Jeff.
It's managed very well.
So that was just the 20 minutes. If you want to see the whole cab ride video, there is an unlisted video in the link in the description here. You can click and you can just watch the whole 29, 30, 31 minutes, is it, that it takes to go through all the way from Abbey Wood down to Paddington. I did actually sneak out into the Westbourne Park sidings, but that's a video for another day. That's it. Thanks for watching. Press subscribe. See you soon. Bye.